bit about that.
Yeah.
What was your overall impressions of the week here?
Yeah. Same as week 5. At least there was a good Thursday night game.
Finally.
That was it. It transferred over to Monday night.
Your Jags was in a dogfight and almost won. And
oh, heartbreaking. Terrible.
I know, man. I know y'all. It was close, man. You predicted a close game, too. So
I've learned to not let it
affect you.
get to me anymore. Now I just watch them, go to the games when I can, have fun, enjoy whatever. Saturday and Sunday were both.
Just a way to just tear your heart out.
The good part was Bortles went nuts.
Bortles looked good, and jump prediction came right.
Yeah, boy had 300 yards. Leading all quarterback. Oh, no. -1. Or 2. He was 4th that week? 5th. Yeah, 4th or 5th.
Your boy is stepping up to the task, ain't he?
We have found a quarterback. Finally. Took us long enough. Shit.
But I know
it took what? Damn, I can't even go back that far.
Well, hey, this is what I know.
10 years?
It's gonna be
10 years.
10 years.
I think, yeah. Because 10 of our 20 years we had Brunel. And there's but then after that, it went to. We had Byron Left Manwich.
Yeah.
Speaking of things we were doing on Facebook.
Yeah.
Ha Clinton Ribs.
Cousin Terrio is the topic, so.
What was the other one I put on? The last one?
I don't know. John had a good one.
I put McGriddle or something.
McGriddle or something like that. John put, this was just fun. Y'all gotta check out the picture there.
Dexter McChicken.
Chicken. Well, speaking of butt kickings here.
Chicken.
Tampa Bay got smashed.
Again. Tampa Bay has to be the worst team in the NFL. I know we haven't won a game, but at least our games have been close. They haven't. Terrible. Them and Oakland. Well, Oakland's actually been in a bunch of close games, too.
Oakland
when the one quarterback has played.
Yeah. Oakland was actually...
they were in it.
Same with Jacksonville.
Dude, Carr was slinging the B out of the football. He had 4 touchdowns. And a late-game interception cost him the game. Reminds me of the Steelers game for Jacksonville.
Denver had a little struggle in the first half with the Jets, but then
we know.
Came out and
we didn't understand half of what you were saying during the second half, though, when you were watching the game.
I was on the happy juice watching my game, so it was a little bit of fun in there right there. Well, New England seemed to go ahead and got back on the groove here. New England is everybody that was concerned about New England a few weeks ago.
What'd I tell you?
Guess that
what'd I tell you?
Just that kind of fade away, huh?
What'd I tell you?
Tom Brady is on a roll here, and
what did I tell you? I remember you getting in an argument with me, and you were like, "You're pointing at the people you picked." What did I tell you? I told you, bring it down. Bring it down. You up here with it right now. You need to bring it down and just wait. It'll all be okay.
All right.
Now I just want to kick the crap out of New York tonight.
All right, then we look at the overtime and the tie.
A tie! Which I go over to my mom. Funny story. I go over to my mom's house. My mom and Crystal look at me and go, "We did not know a football game can end in a tie." So I proceeded to call them both Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb wars go to your wife and mother.
I looked at both of them and went, "All right, Donovan." It was good. But then I explained to them, I'm like, no, in regular season it can end in a tie. In the postseason, they'll never end in a tie. They keep going until somebody wins.
Uh-oh.
Actually,
what?
Your dad explained it to us first, and we said, your dad just told us something. We didn't realize that games ended in a tie.
Okay, and then I called y'all Donovan McNabb because you, like Donovan McNabb, didn't realize that games could finish in a tie. So
we're girls. We don't play the game. He plays the game. He's
y'all
just
have been.
dumbass.
My mom has been watching the game for all of her life. She should know better. You've been watching the game for 9 years, so you should know better. I
No,
think you
'cause
were.
I've never
I
seen
think.
a game end in
I
a
think
tie.
you were with me when Donovan McNabb ended the game in a tie.
Okay, go back to the
But yes, so I had every right to call, and that you hear my voice of my lovely wife Crystal, who is Donovan McNabb now.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Green Bay was on the ropes too, and they won pretty much on a
Fake spike.
Yeah.
They fake spiked it, got out of bounds at the 2, which was nutsy.
Really gutsy.
Gutsy, because if he don't get out of bounds, game's over. But they got out of bounds and they got the game won. San Diego's in the dogfight with Oakland, like we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago beating Atlanta. Atlanta's going to start to fall back there. A lot of injuries for that team.
Yeah. San Francisco.
Arizona getting Carson Palmer back.
Yeah, looking solid.
Philadelphia beat the dog poop out of the Giants. So that little cartoon they made with Eli, it came to truth.
Wasn't it right?
It was right.
Oh, gave him a goose egg. Victor Cruz is possibly out for the season.
No, he ain't possibly. He's out.
He's out for the season.
Yep.
I knew they saw
a lot of big injuries this week, putting people on the shelves. Alex Mack for Cleveland, the center, out for the season. See, Cleveland, that's what you get for not letting him go to Jacksonville. That's what you get for matching that damn offer. You should just let him come here and been done with it. But no! Had to match the offer. Now he's hurt.
You done?
What you get?
All right. The 49ers was in typical fashion against the Rams.
First part of the game they wasn't. It wasn't until right at halftime. The halftime play right before halftime where they threw the deep ball and got on the board, saved them. And that kind of changed everything up a little bit. Then the second half, they came out and rode it. But the first half belonged to Seattle until that deep ball.
Nice. All right, let's talk about the NCAA football week. I know you want to.
Let's not.
You don't want to relive that either.
Let's not.
Give props to Mississippi State.
And Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss being A&M.
Both of them doing what I said they wouldn't do. And now Mississippi State is number one. And I'm going to go off on something right here. Everybody calling for Dan Mullen to come and coach Florida after next year. I don't want Dan Mullen. Does everyone at Florida just forget about how much bad-mouthing he did along with Urban Meyer about the University of Florida? If they offered his ass the job, would he come? Yeah, because we'll pay him more money than Mississippi State. But he bad-mouthed it. He bad-mouthed the University of Florida on the way out. Why would you want a guy that bad-mouthed you to come back and coach your football team? Nah, I'm good without him. I'm good without him. I'm also good without Will Muschamp as well, but I'm good without him.
Do you think it's because, listen, they're desperate for, I guess, success?
You're not desperate. We're not.
Well, I know you're not.
You're the University of Florida. You're not desperate.
Well, I know you're not, and they're not, but they're like these fans.
Well, people are ignorant. People jump on the next big thing. Oh, look at the success they're having. It took him 4 years to give them that success. You got to remember that. They didn't get it overnight.
No.
You got to key in on, he has probably the best player in the country right now, and he's wearing number 15. But you can't be that way. You just can't be that way. You can't go, oh, well, he badmouthed your program when he was there. And now all of a sudden you want him to come back. No. You go look. You are the University of Florida. You didn't always struggle. There used to be a time where people were interested in coming and coaching this team that were big names. Now you go and you find that big name. You go and make everybody forget about the past mistakes that you just made.
Yeah.
You go and make them forget. And you bring in somebody that's going to be that name and that guy. Not some coordinator that used to be at your school. No. Don't go get no urbanite, as I like to call him. He's an urbanite. Let him stay at Mississippi State. Let him do what he's doing there. Let's see how he does when Zach Prescott isn't there. Oh, yeah, that's right. He wasn't there before, and they weren't very good. So there's your key. But you can't just and hop on that next little bandwagon.
No. You got to ride through the thick and thin.
Exactly. You got to ride.
You got to ride. College football is. There's these teams that's going to go ahead and head their hot spot.
And the bad mistake. people were like, well, what if Will beats Missouri, loses to Georgia, beats South Carolina, and beats somebody else? Or the big 4 games he's got left: Missouri, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida State. Somebody said, what if he wins 3 out of the 4 and loses to Florida State? Do you keep him? If he beats Missouri, Georgia, and Florida State. And South Carolina. That means most likely he's going to the SEC championship game. Right. As the winners of the East. Do you keep him if he goes to the SEC championship game? Or do you see all of the stuff that he's done before and be like, no? Because in my mind, you have to beat Georgia. That's key number 1 in every Florida fan and alumni and everybody. You have to beat Georgia. If you don't beat Georgia, we don't want you here. We have to listen to it from Georgia people more than we have to anybody else. We don't want to hear it no more. Win. Beat Georgia. That's always the motto. Beat Georgia. You beat Georgia, we don't ever say nothing bad about you. Ask Steve. But it's one of those things to where we just you can't eyeball one dude and make a freaking thing saying hire Dan Mullen. It's because all you school kids that are still at Florida right now, y'all don't know that he said all this crap about Florida. You don't care. You're hot on that one guy. Is he bringing Zach Prescott with him? If he brings Zach Prescott with him, come on. But Zach Prescott's going to be gone. Yeah, just remember what you say. But as far as them going right now, they're going great right now.
Yeah, Mississippi State.
I'd rather have Ole Miss's coach. I'd rather have Freeze. Yeah. If you want to get me down to all these guys, I'd much rather have Freeze.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at this too, and it should be a fun game to watch here, Mississippi State, Kentucky. That should be we'll make picks on Saturday.
I think Mississippi State's got too much for Kentucky.
Yeah,
but
it'll be a fun game to watch, see where it goes, because everybody looking at this.
Yeah, I just think they got too much for Kentucky, but Kentucky is coming on strong. Mm-hmm. Kentucky is a good football team. Yeah. No matter, everybody laughed at Florida when they beat Kentucky. Now no one's laughing anymore at that Kentucky win. Hell, I'm cherishing it right now because we ain't done nothing since.
So, all right, we got 5 Baylor, 9 TCU.
Told you that was going to be a shootout.
So, I get tagged in a status on Facebook, and I get hit on Twitter. One of my buddies. Listen, I know he hates the SEC, but he feels like one of these teams can be one of these teams in the SEC. And I'm like, what pipe are you smoking? Would you look, where's the defense in this game? And I don't understand why you think that one of these teams can be SEC. An SEC team, do you think they can come up with one of these teams?
I will tell him to look at the history. Look at history.
These 10
history dictates to you.
He tends don't want to believe it, and I try to explain this to him. Look at the history.
If history dictates to you that a team that goes and puts 50 points up every game, i.e. a 2006 Ohio State team that was running roughshod, scoring all these points all over the place, runs into a dominant defense in the University of Florida. How good did they do? Yeah, not so much.
Yeah.
Oklahoma scored friggin' 48 points a game, I think, on average. The season they played Florida in the national championship game. Yeah, they didn't score 48 points. There's a difference. There is a huge difference.
And that's why I try telling them. But listen, I know people that it's hard to believe.
And even look at last year. Florida State had a really good defense, and they couldn't stop Auburn. No. Auburn was scoring, but Auburn had a really good defense to get there. That was one of the only national championship games lately where it was a shootout, and it was really good offensive teams. But Florida State had a lot of NFL talent on their defense, but it was just the type of tempo and everything that Auburn was running was getting to FSU.
Are these talented teams? Yes, they're talented
They're
teams.
talented offensive teams.
Thank you.
They're talented. They have they have athletes on